Hello everybody, I'm Nerdy Guy. I just came home from school, I have my lunch right here and I don't want it to get cold, so I'm gonna make this video real quick. So for about a week and a half now, we've had a pre-patch for the next upcoming World of Warcraft expansion, which is Warlords of Draenor. We have that for, like I said, a week and a half now, and the pre-patch, for those of you who doesn't know, is it adds a lot of new functions of the new expansion without adding the actual content of the expansion. The content that's added in the patch is free for everybody, even those who haven't bought the game. So I want to talk a little about that, like what's the good things and what are the bad things. And mainly the good things. We'll start with good things. The reagent bank, and I want to add that I hate that word because I don't know if it's reagent or regent, but from what I've heard it's reagent, so I'm going to say reagent. The reagent bank, it's something they added, and it's really useful. What it is a new bank slot, basically, where you can only store reagents. And it costs 100 gold to unlock this, and there's a little button you can press that's like deposit all reagents, and it just goes through your bags and just deposits everything. And it clears up so much fucking bag space and bank space. I'm real grateful for this feature. And the best part is, if you have reagents in your reagent bank, then you can craft using those reagents wherever you are. So you don't need to constantly run back and forth between the bank while crafting. So thank you, Wilson, for that one. As soon as I tried it out on my main character, I immediately went to all my alts and got reagent banks there too, because it's really, really fucking useful. So thank you for that one. Next up, we have the character models. There's been a lot of complaining and bitching about the models in the trade chat, and I don't understand why. People complain like, oh, it's so ugly, it's so ugly. No, it's more detailed. You know, if you've created an ugly character, that's your problem, not the game. And since, people's face features would be different with this, they had to make it so you can change it somehow. So now you can change faces at the barber, which is kind of weird. The barber must cut up your face or something, I don't know. But then also, the raiding system is different. Although I haven't done much raiding, not even looking for raid lately, because before I took a break from I was more or less done with looking for raid. But they made some differences to that too, in which I think looking for raid is now flex, which means that you can be anywhere between 10 and 25 people, and boss will scale to the difficulty of however many people you have. Which is really useful, since people tend to drop out mid-fucking raid. I hate it when people do that. But they also changed out the whole, 10-man and 25-man thing that we've had since, Burning Crusade, I think, where we introduced the whole... No, that wasn't until Wrath of the Lich King you could actually switch between 10-man and 25-man. But they removed that, so now this is just normal, which is flexible, like looking for raid. So you can have anywhere between 10 and 25 people, and the raid will scale depending on how many people you have. That really helps a lot of people get into raiding, because as it were before, you only had 10 people you can put in a raid. So new people who came into a guild, they were not allowed to raid. I mean, either if they wanted to take in one guy, then they had to find 14 others to go with them. So this is a really useful feature to help more people get into raiding. I want to thank you for that. And then instead of heroic mode in raids, not dungeons. Instead of heroic, we have mythic, which is locked 20-man, so there's no flex. And also, the raid lockouts are no longer shared between difficulties. What it was before was, if you did a raid in 25-man, then you couldn't go back and do it in 10-man, and vice versa. But now you can, so you can do every raid twice a week, potentially. This also, to a lot of people's dismay, made it so you can no longer go into a raid, fight most of the bosses in normal mode, and then for the occasional bosses switch to heroic, kill them in heroic, and then go back to normal to make it a quick run. You can no longer do that. Sorry, because if you switch to heroic, then, or mythic as it's called now, then you will be brought back to the beginning, so screw you. But I don't mind that. I mean, it makes it more of a challenge. Now you have to actually fight. Now you can't just skim through the easy way like people have done for so long. Let's see, what else? I think that's most of the features. Oh, right, the items, stat squish. this is a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because, well, it looks nicer. And thanks to the item squish, changing how much its stats are worth, doing old content soloing, I'm fucking tired today, sorry. Soloing old content has become really easy. I went from having difficulty soloing, like, Burning Crusade raids, to soloing Wrath of the Lich King raids with ease. I mean, I didn't even change my gear, nothing changed between those two. So, that's interesting to say the least. And there's now people soloing, like, Cataclysm stuff, but those guys are mostly tanks. I don't think a rogue can solo Firelands, for example. So, the stat switch changed a lot, but it also has some bad aspects to it, and which is, it messed up some old quests and nearly made them impossible. For example, there's a quest in Storm Peaks called the Brothers Bronzebeard, and in that quest you have to defend an airplane from people shooting at it, and there's also people jumping on the wing trying to kill you. So you have to kill the people on the wing, and then basically just hope for the best. But since the stat quiz changed the health of the plane, it's now impossible, because they shoot down your plane no matter what you do. There's nothing you can do to help it. And the worst part is that when you die, you fall down, and when the plane dies, you fall down and you die. So that kind of sucks. And then there is the skill pruning or whatever, ability pruning. Fucking hell, ability pruning. They removed a bunch of abilities because they wanted to have less abilities. It was getting a bit crazy. I can agree with that. On my rogue, it's not much of an issue, and on my death knight, it's not much of an issue either. On both of those, that actually helped. But my warlock, they removed a lot of useful stuff. I mean, sure, they removed things that attacks that you didn't really need anyway and didn't really use. But they removed some passive abilities that were really useful, and I don't get that. And also on my rogue, they removed Fan of Knives. I no longer have Fan of Knives. What the fuck? So that, I gotta say, that bugged me. Fan of Knives is, well, honestly, I mostly use it when soloed old content because you could one-shot the trash mobs with it. But still, it was a useful thing. I like that. And the whole having too much abilities thing, it wasn't really that much of a problem for me anyway, because I just macroed it all together so I could have like 3 abilities on one button. That was really simple. But, so yeah, I think that was the good things and some of the bad. But let's see, what else are the bad things? Because I can't remember. We've had some crashes lately, but that's kind of expected with a patch. And let's see, there was something else. If I could fucking remember. Well, healing has become harder, coming from all the healers. But mostly what they've done is that they've made it so you can't just lazily spam AoE heals to heal a party, because if you heal a few amount of people with an AoE heal, it will actually heal less than a normal heal will. In an attempt to make it so healers actually have to fucking pay attention. And a lot of healers hate this, which results in a lot more wipes, because the healers don't pay attention. I'm sorry if I offended all healers, but, a lot of healers have a tendency to just lazily heal AoE heals over and over. They don't even pay attention. As a result, now people are dying. But most healers don't bother with it. I mean, most healers make by just fine. They don't complain, there's nothing about it. It's the lazy ones that are complaining, basically. But that was all I had, if I remember correctly. So now I'm going to eat my cold lunch. Well, the sandwich is already cold, but my tea is probably cold now. So, yeah. What do you think about the pre-patch, or are you even playing World of Warcraft? Leave a comment and tell me, and rate this video, subscribe if you like my videos, look me up on my social media, links are in the description, and I'm the Nerdy Guy, and you just watch Nerdy Guy Rant.